We are having our ghost picture judging. Therefore, you should go to artbell.com and judge. Look at the photographs, declare what you think to be the winner, and we are going to be giving away tomorrow night a Sirius XM radio and a 1-year subscription to Sirius XM. That's pretty hot stuff. So if you have submitted a ghost picture, then cross your fingers, knock on pressed wood or whatever you can find, and maybe you'll be the winner tomorrow night. Ghost stories, last chance. I will look for ghost stories sent to me, artbell@artbell.com. If you're going to do that, just give me a short summary and a phone number, and maybe on Spooky Matter tomorrow night, we will call you. All right, looking briefly at the news, never all that pleasant. Another mistress of a former Utah doctor accused of killing his wife testified Wednesday that he had once described how he could induce a heart attack in someone and said it would appear to be natural. A New York bus driver saved a woman from jumping off a bridge. Good. Hailed as a hero for preventing a woman from jumping off a little highway bridge. 6 people shot dead in South Carolina in a domestic dispute. Seems like we used to be able to settle them more easily, or at the worst, police come. But now, a South Carolina man in custody. A one-time girlfriend apparently broke into her parents' home, fatally shot the woman. He did. Her parents, 2 children. According to the sheriff, then the man dispatched himself, saving the state problem. Well, here's one for the books. Dark matter comes up empty so far. Nearly a mile underground in an abandoned gold mine, one of the most important quests in physics has thus far come up empty in search for the elusive substance known as dark matter. I have a comment I could make here, but I will refrain. The Japanese Prime Minister, his government, this really is interesting. Somebody sent me a note about this yesterday as we were discussing Fukushima. The Japanese government is planning a State Secrets Act. This is very interesting. Critics say it could curtail public access to information on a whole wide range of issues, including tensions with China and, of course, Fukushima. So, as time goes on, if this passes, it'll all be covered by the Official Secrets Act in Japan. The new law would dramatically expand the definition of official secrets. In other words, anything they don't want known. And journalists convicted under it could be jailed for up to 5 years. Whew. So in other words, if number 4 over there begins to go, and some journalist wants to report it, he's going to go to jail for 5 years for doing so. Now, you might keep that in mind. That's incredible. Simply incredible. I thought we helped the Japanese with our constitution. Well, their constitution modeled after ours. But then again, we haven't treated ours so well either, have we? Defending President Obama's much-aligned healthcare overhaul in Congress, this top health official was confronted Wednesday with, this is so sad, with a government memo raising new security concerns about the trouble-prone, boy, that's kind, website that consumers are trying to use to enroll. The document obtained by the AP shows that administration officials at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services were concerned that a lack of testing posed a potentially high security risk. For healthcare.gov website serving 36 states, it was granted only a temporary security certificate so it could even operate. I shouldn't laugh. If you're feeling a little wired, exhausted, emotional, on edge, it may be our sun. Our sun has released 4 actually, X-class solar flares since Friday. October classes, sun flares, are graded sort of backwards. The least powerful is an A, then comes B, then comes C, then comes M, or the most powerful X class. Each class 10 times more powerful than the previous class. So when you get an X class flare, the sun is indeed raging in the night. Actually, there is something above an X. It's called a mega flare, but that may not be official. And then there's this. I'm hearing a lot about it, so I thought I would pass it on to you. Nationwide electric power failure is realistically dramatized in a coming National Geographic television docudrama. But it is also being televised, which the whole country, and it will be synchronized to immediately precede a U.S. government national power blackout drill. Now, I have no idea what we're going to do. Are they going to turn off power for everybody? Anyway, this planned coincidence shows that the National Geographic television is emotionally amplifying an apocalyptic government prophecy by Janet Napolitano, the Director of Homeland Security, who said that, and this is an apparent quote, a massive cyber attack and a natural disaster, the likes of which never have been seen before, are coming. End quote. That's from ABC News. Let me read that again. A massive cyber attack and a natural disaster, the likes of which have never been seen before, are coming. That's a quote from ABC News. Something indeed to think about, wouldn't you say? So I wonder if you're going to turn off the power, or if you're all supposed to volunteer and run out and throw the master switch and cut your own power off and suffer for a while. In other words, be a volunteer. If you're listening to this show right now on a computer, sitting on a desk somewhere, and you are chained to it, I have an answer for you. You don't have to. There is the CC Radio FM Transmitter 2. And here's the way it works. You order one, and what? You're out only $49.95. It rocks. It's small enough to hold in your hand. It is an actual FM broadcast transmitter. So, you plug your computer into this little guy, and it can broadcast to all the FM radios in your house. Now, you of course have to be careful not to add any wire onto the antenna to make the range longer, or look on the internet for such things, because it comes all set to go. It has an adjustable input level, so you can adjust the display volume. But I mean, it's so cool. Then you can go anywhere in the house and listen to the show. All this for $49.95, and it works with anything you plug into it with audio. I mean, well, for example, you could plug your iPhone into it or its equivalent, play all your music through the FM radio. Pretty cool, huh? Or you could run your own show. The number to call to order one now for just $49.95 is 800-522-8863. That's 800-522-8863. All right, coming up in a moment, featured on A&E, VH1, the Reverend Dr. Nicole and the Reverend Dr. Micheal Sebastian, M.A., ABD, a.k.a. The Dream Team, are co-founders of The Dream Team, Celebrity Life Coaching, creators of the Trust Yourself system and the Trust Yourself therapy. As authors of 4 books, folks, celebrity life coaches, dream experts, addictions therapists, and behavioral sociologists, they deliver wise counsel using traditional methods coupled with unique tools of dream, sound, synchronicity, intuition, and quantum physics for guidance and direction. So coming up in just a few moments, we're going to talk with the Dream Team about, well, dreams, folks. Coming right up. I'm Art Bell. I'd like to welcome Nicole and Micheal to the program. They are known as the Dream Hi.
Hi. Hey, Art, how you doing? Thanks for having us.
Good to hear you both. Where are you? Matter of curiosity.
At present, we're in Detroit, Motor City.
Detroit. Wow. Okay. Said it's cold up there.
A little bit, like 35. It's going to be an early winter, it feels like.
Yes, a cold winter. All right. Before we get started in what's going to be scary, I want to ask a question. I've never, first of all, I've never had a nightmare. Don't want one. Thank you. I've always worried about a number of things that I will ask you about in the course of the show. The only dream that I have had that I really hate, and I'm thinking maybe you can tell me that. All right, well, here it comes. The dream that I don't like, in other words, when I go to sleep at night, I want to experience a little slice of death. You know, I want to go to sleep and then wake up the next morning and look out and see that it's light and another day has arrived, and lo and behold, I'm here. That's how I want to sleep. However, every now and then I'll go to sleep and I'll have a dream in which I am trying desperately to achieve some goal, whatever it is, whether it's related probably to radio, because you know I'm in radio, and I'm working. Oh my God, I'm working all the way through this dream, and by the time the dream is over and I wake up, I am dead tired because I've been striving, I've been trying to get whatever it is accomplished, and I'm pooped because I worked all night long. How do I stop it?
Art, here, we'll start here. We'll back up a little bit, and then Nicole, techniques for changing that dream. And the reason that you're so tired when you wake up in the morning is that you have actually been working all night long in your dream, because when we sleep, we dream, and when we dream, we actually leave the body in energy form. We're all energy. We know that. And we go to another dimension. And what we experience there is what we call the dream when we wake up, but it's actually a travel log of what went on in a different state of consciousness. So consequently, because you're in radio, because that is your career and your job, you work all night long in that other area to download what's coming into your consciousness in the daytime. So you do double duty, actually.
Okay, you're exactly right. But now the important part: how do I stop it?
Aha. Well, I would suggest, Art, that you merely cue, which is a phenomenal technique we'll share with your listeners.
I'm sorry, the technique name again?
Cue, H-U.
That I hew.
Yep, I'd recommend that you cue before you go to bed.
Okay.
And by doing that, you'll provide clarity.
I try to hew before I go to bed. If not, I have to get up in the middle of the night and hew maybe once or twice.
There you go.
Come on, explain what hew is.
All right, cue is a toning technique, and it's based on physics and vibration and resonance. And let me give you a demo. Simply put, you inhale, and on the exhale, you cue.
I can't hit that tone.
Let me tell you, your own pitch is perfect, Art. So however it comes out, that's just meant for you. And hue is actually an ancient, sacred, universal name for God. And it's where the word human comes from. The word human actually means God-man, God within man. And in our research of the word, we found the word hue in 13 different world religions and their sacred books, from Christianity all the way to Zoroastrianism.
Well, don't think I won't try it, because I will, and it better work. I'm coming after you.
I promise it stops nightmares instantaneously, it stops anxiety and insomnia. We call it one magic word.
Okay, this is none of those terrible things. This is just work.
Feverishly.
Yes, absolutely. There's enough of that during the day. At night, I want my little slice of death.
You want to do that, right?
Well, I had to know. I'm going to try it. I'm absolutely going to try it. All right. Now, down to biz.
web. Most people, when they experience night terror, are afraid to go back to sleep. They're common in certain populations, veterans with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. They'll have a flashback of being shot, being in combat, all the fear and anxiety that goes along with that. Children also, believe it or not, children under 5 and under the age of 5, experience night terrors quite a bit.
All right, do you differentiate between a night terror and a, just bad dream, or a scary dream, or are they all one and the same? A nightmare. In other words, any difference between a night terror and a nightmare?
Yeah, I'd put them on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's quantify it. We all have nightmares. Who hasn't had a nightmare? And it could be as simple as, having a blow up with your boss, and you wake up thinking, oh my God, I'm glad that was a dream. But a night terror is something that we're actually almost afraid to go back to sleep because it was so traumatic. So a nightmare might be a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. A night terror is a 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any idea of what causes a night terror? Something so dramatically, maybe it's like sun flare 10 times worse as you go up the scale. So that would make a night terror really awful, horrible. Any idea what causes them?
Actually, whatever is in our state of consciousness is what we experience inwardly and outwardly. So we are actually the creator of the night terror, unfortunately. But at the same time, because we are the creator of our world, we can correct that just like we can correct anything else. So we are fully responsible due to our consciousness level. But at the same time, if we interpret and decode the message contained within the night terror, then it stops as long as we take appropriate action. Because whenever we have a dream, a nightmare, or a night terror, there is a message for us personally about taking some sort of action in our daily life.
Really?
Yeah. And once we do, boom, it goes away.
And night terrors are usually they're related to an event of some sort. For example, veterans with PTSD that have been in some dark place in combat, and they bring that back in their consciousness. In many cases, it's people who have been traumatized one way or another, and they go to an extremely dark place. And where they actually go is an interesting speculation also, but we have found that it involves, believe it or not, travel in other dimensions, and we get off into a dark area. So what we get from the night terror when we wake up is really a travel log of where we've been, someplace extremely dark and threatening.
All right, well, a moment ago, it was said that night terrors come from within ourselves, correct?
Correct.
And yet, I know that as we continue the interview, you're going to be talking about intrusions by others into dreams. We're going to even be talking about the possibility of death during it. We're going to be talking about entities. So, if we're going to be talking about those things, how can you be sure that night terrors always come from within?
Well, life experience. And up until the age of 5, then the veil gets pulled. They enter into socialization. They typically start school at that age.
You are so right. I've watched it in my own daughter, and there is a demarcation point at about 5, somewhere between 5 and 6, where all that was disappears. Whether it's previous life, whatever. My daughter talked about some pretty eerie things, believe me, when she was very young, that just came out of nowhere. And I have always believed that perhaps a prior life was there, and that at about 5 and between 6, somewhere in there, there's a change that occurs, and I can see it in my daughter, and suddenly she's in the present, and the past, and I guess really the past, has kind of faded and disappeared, but she's all here now.
That's so true, Art. And I think it's when they hit that, like you said, your daughter's 6, when they hit that age of socialization, they start school, their focus changes from the inner to being spontaneous and the things that's going on within them to the outer. Being in school, being focused on habit, tradition, routine, learning, everything that they have to process on a daily basis. And consequently, I saw it in my daughter, and she can't come up with amazing things when she was 3. And as soon as she was 6 years old, it's as if she shifted gears and those things no longer existed.
Boy, are you right on the money. Right on the money. That's really fascinating. So here's a question for you. If we were to discover a full human being, that is to say, a human being perhaps in their 20s, that had never been socialized at all, lived in the woods, there actually have been such people, would we find that the absolute lack of socialization had allowed them to remain able to remember what was?
Well, I would say no, and the reason being, it's an automatic response that happens to serve as a form of protection, so we can focus on this life and handle this life, and not get bogged down with the events of the past. And I think it's an automatic response, just like we all have a dream sensor that jumbles the dream symbology, and that's within all of us. And so these things take over naturally. So I think, while they would still, not be socialized, the memories would still fade.
In other words, it's probably like an automatic mechanism. It kicks in as a circuit breaker so we can focus on growth within this life or dimension as opposed to the things we know and have seen earlier on when we're 2, 3, and 4 from past lives that would really act as baggage and keep us from evolving here.
You're aware, I'm sure, both of you, that even as an adult, it is been said to be possible to hypnotize somebody and to regress them all the way back to their own birth and then occasionally into another life. Are you aware of that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You believe it?
Yes. But I believe it's very messy, and I do not recommend it, because no matter how highly trained an individual is, they lack the full spectrum of spiritual knowledge to handle that appropriately. And what it's called is leaving tracks. And so when someone does hypnotize, an individual, they typically leave tracks, remnants of their own consciousness within another. And it's a disservice. So it's a real touchy area. I don't recommend it, but everyone has free will, Art.
Well, there are doctors who have taken people back and then asked specific questions about that person's prior life, received specific answers, checked them out, found them to be right. That's pretty strange stuff, no doubt about it. So, but it kind of goes along with what you were saying about somebody prior to the age of actually go where you want.